all our alumni for being here. We are so happy to see all your faces. Well, at this moment, I don't see your face because I'm presenting, but I know that you are here in the chat, and I'm presenting here saying welcome to the new core, and that's amazing. And we are so happy that all of you are here. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we can start. So thank you all of you for being here. This is a little agenda for today. We will have a little introduction about Techtonica for CEO. We will have a little detail about the program for our project manager, and then we will have the detail for the partnership for this new core from our partnership manager. Then we will meet the new core, which is exciting always, and we will have a final minute for mingling, and we will not forget the screenshot today. That's a promise that I can make to all of you. Just as a reminder for all of us, Techtonica is helping women and non-binary adults with low incomes to overcome barriers into the tech careers. Our code of conduct, Techtonica is dedicated to providing a safe, inclusive, welcoming, and harassment-free space and experience for all members and guests, regardless of gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, socioeconomic status, body size, ethnicity, nationality, level of experience, age of relation, or the lack of thereof. Our conduct exists because of that dedication. We don't tolerate harassment in any form, and we prioritize marginalized people's safety over privileged people's comfort. Our full code of conduct can be found at techtonica.org/conduct. Well, first, let me introduce myself. I will be your conduct of ceremony this night. My name is Cristina Rodriguez. My pronouns are she, her, ella. I'm the technical project manager here. And if you are in this meeting, you probably receive an email from me, but in case that you don't have my email, here is my email. And then we have Sarah. Sarah, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Sarah Colley. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the engineering training manager here. I need to update my name there, and I'm really happy to see y'all here. So if you are in the program, you see me every day, and I kind of help guide you through the process of learning.
Then we have our founder, Michelle. Michelle, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Do you want me to jump right in after this to the history thing?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. I am Michelle Glauser. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the founder and CEO of Techtonica. Next slide. So I always like to start by sharing a little bit about my story. As you can see, I always liked computers, but I grew up in a large blue-collar family, and I didn't know anyone who actually worked with computers. Next slide. And then in 2012, I was working for a startup in San Francisco doing pretty much everything except for engineering. And I kept looking at the engineers and thinking, the work they do is so interesting. And they make so much more money than I do. How do I do that? So I started Googling around. I found this brand new concept of the coding bootcamp. I applied to a couple of them and got in, and like scrapped together enough money so I could attend. And that was before they cost as much as they do now. And it was great. It was so amazing and empowering. And within a couple of weeks of graduating, I had a new job and negotiated to triple my income. So that was amazing. And I wanted to pay it forward. And so I started attending meetups and kind of telling people about my journey. And then I started organizing meetups. And then I started a Google Doc that's still out there that has thousands of links of different ways to learn to code. Next slide. And then in 2015, I spearheaded the I Look Like an Engineer ad campaign. You may have seen these ads, especially if you were around in the Bay Area. They were in BART stations. There were a few next to the freeways, and like around in San Francisco. And it was great because it inspired a conversation and kind of helped people understand that this was a pathway they could take, but it felt like it fell short. It didn't really change anyone's life. And I had been noticing for a very, very long time that the pathways into tech, even with these new coding boot camps, had a lot of barriers. Next slide. So for example, as I mentioned, the cost of boot camps had really increased. In fact, it's now triple what it was when I went. And they all expected people to somehow be able to afford the most expensive laptop out there. And somehow you had to quit your job and still pay for rent, which in the Bay Area especially is really tricky. I didn't feel like any of them were very friendly to parents or safe for underrepresented people. And one of the most important things was that I met so many people who were like, I attended this boot camp, I invested this huge amount towards it, and I've been looking for a job for 9 months, and I can't find one. And the average boot camp grad does take 6 months to a year to find a job. So I just didn't feel like class travelers like myself could manage to get past all of these barriers. And I felt like there needed to be something that brought together a whole bunch of resources and people's dedication to diversity, and funding from companies to make a program possible that would break down those barriers. So next slide. That's why I started Techtonica. Techtonica is a nonprofit, and basically, as I mentioned, we partner with companies so that we can help women and non-binary adults with low incomes overcome barriers into tech careers. Next slide. And as I said, our target audience is women and non-binary adults. I did see a lot of programs out there that had age cutoffs. Like they said, oh, we only do up to age 25. And I learned to code when I was 27. And I felt like I wasn't out of potential. Like you can still learn at age 27. I don't think you need to have that cutoff. So we purposely have chosen not to do that. And people with low incomes and mostly BIPOC. And the reason for this target audience is because these are the people most in danger of displacement because of the growth of tech and most underrepresented in tech. So maybe someday that will change and we'll have a different focus, but for now that is our target audience. So we do have built-in job placement, and basically we find companies that are interested in supporting that intersectional diversity, and they sponsor the participants in the program, and that then covers the costs, which includes stipends, and then they hire the graduates. So that is our business model. It was very unheard of at the time. I talked to hundreds of companies that were like, you want us to what? But now more people have heard about it and think it's a great idea, and we are just so grateful for the people who have advocated within their companies to make these sponsorships happen. Next slide. One question that we have gotten so many times is, why don't you just take a cut from participant salaries following the program? So this is often called an income sharing agreement. And while that can be useful, we believe that that puts up an additional barrier on people who already have so many barriers. So we don't want to do that. And we do feel like diversity is a valuable thing for companies. So we try to put that responsibility on the companies. Next. And we firmly believe that if companies invest in junior talent and stop poaching seniors from each other all the time, they can help alleviate displacement and income disparity that has developed as a result of the growth of tech. All right, so that is kind of the history of Techtonica, and I'm going to pass this part over to Sarah.
Okay, I'm sure you're like, that all sounds amazing. How do I get my friends to apply? Good question. There are a lot of steps to our application process, and part of that is because we're such an awesome program and it's so intense. We want to make sure that we get people that are dedicated to putting the time in once they're in. So we have a prereq study group, so a JavaScript study group that meets every month, as well as a Slack channel for people to get into learning everything they have to learn. And that is to help them complete the 113 basic JavaScript lessons on Free Code Camp. After they do that, there is a long application that has all the questions in it. Once that comes in, then we have 2 what we call application workshops. And those are a chance to see people in action, see how they work with each other. We have people pair with each other. So applicants pair with each other when we have volunteers watching and giving them feedback and seeing how everybody reacts to that. After that, we have switched orders. So they will do a pair programming session with one of our staff members, followed by a take-home code challenge to see if they can implement what all they've learned during their pairing session. They have interviews with me and also interviews with our board members. So it is quite a process to get in, but then once you're in, you're in. And we really want to help guide everybody through this program and guide them through this process, because it is really complicated trying to get through all of this stuff. And many people apply multiple times before they get in. And then they get in, and it's really exciting. So the characteristics that we seek to strengthen throughout the program and what we're looking for during that application process is to see if someone has the potential to grow in these main categories. And we really focus on them throughout the process of our program. So we work on resilience, autonomy, commitment, positivity and adaptability, collaboration, curiosity, and logic. So a lot of things, which all of you know are all really important to be engineers. Next slide, please. As we've sort of mentioned already, this is a full-time program. It is, there's all the prereqs stuff to get in. And then once you're in, it is 6 months of full-time learning. So we do basically 4 months of learning, 1 month of a final project, and then the placement interviews for our sponsor companies, and 1 month at the end of learning the tech stack specific to the placement, which I think is another thing that we do differently than a lot of other places. We want to help make sure that all of our grads are placed with success. During that time, our participants all have at least one personal mentor that helps them through the process, helps them learn the things they need to learn. And our program would not be successful without the mentors. So all the mentors here tonight, thank you so much. You are what makes this program possible. Wait, I had one more point on the last page. If we are unable to get somebody a placement, then we do support them through 6 months of placement. That being said, we have gotten full support for our sponsors for the last 2 cohorts. So we're pretty positive that trend is going to keep on going forward. No, next slide, please. Boy, do we learn a whole lot. For the last cohort, I made a list of all the things that we learned in the first 8 weeks, and it was 2 pages, single spaced, small font. There is a whole lot to learn, and everybody crams it in amazingly well. So it's at least 1,000 hours of learning that everybody puts in. Next slide, please. So how is our day formatted? Part of our helping people become optimum employees as they move forward is helping people learn how to manage their day, as well as lead meetings and do all of those awesome soft skillsy business glue work stuff that is there in the job besides just coding. So every day, one person is the day lead, and they are sort of the person in charge of making sure everybody shows up and writing all the notes from the meetings and posting all the updates in Slack. We have daily code challenges, and those are to help get the logical brain working, as well as help get people prepped for those dreaded technical interviews. Then we have sort of 5 hours of go and learn all the stuff that you have to learn. So this program is a self-taught program, which is also unlike a lot of other programs. So it really helps everybody learn how to learn on their own and in their small groups for the day. We have pairing sessions every day where everybody works together to create a new project. And everybody has to review and make their own PRs to learn how to do that process. Slide, please. And I mentioned mentors. This is obviously a picture from the before times. It is hard to get a good mentor picture of just Zoom because all Zoom pictures kind of look the same. We have to agree. But each person has at least one mentor, and that mentor volunteers 2 hours at least a week to help them learn all the things they need to learn and get through the program. And we've been super fortunate in the last couple of cohorts to have even more people volunteering. So some people have 2 mentors, which is just so amazing. And again, mentors, thank you a bazillion million times. Like your effort is really what helps push everybody along. Next slide, please. I'm going to pass it off to Tiffany.
Everyone, I'm Tiffany Kwok. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm Techtonica's partnerships manager. And so I work with all of our partner companies. Next up, I will be announcing all of our hiring sponsors. I'll go through all of them before I pass the mic to any sponsors that might want to tune in and share a little bit as well. But yeah, next slide. So Soda Health will be one of our sponsors this cohort. Next slide. We'll have Stack Overflow, who is a previous partner of ours. Big Commerce, and then Sony PlayStation, and they also have been a past partner of ours. And yeah, this is my email. If there's anyone that is a part of a company that wants to be a part of Techtonica, feel free to jot down my email. But yeah, I'm going to open the floor to any sponsors that do want to tap in really quickly. No pressure if you don't want to say anything, but couple minutes for you all.
I'll take a crack at it, Tiffany. Hey, I'm Chris Brown.
Thanks, Chris.
The Chris Brown. He, him. I am in the Bay Area, but it's the Chesapeake Bay Area. I'm in Washington D.C. So it's kind of late at night. I'm probably not going to hang out a whole lot longer, but I'm DC based. A lot of our staff is in Chicago, but we're nationwide. We're Soda Health. We're a startup, and our mission is to help marginalized communities improve their health. We do it in a lot of different ways. We focus on folks that are older and lower income, and essentially are rolling out a new and novel payment solution, which will be able to be used by folks in those communities to get like free groceries, free transportation, and free medicines related to their health. So we're super cool, super excited to be a part of the Techtonica program. I'll say, like, we are a startup. We currently have 1 customer, and we're running on venture capital seed funding. So all the things you might imagine about being, young, scrappy, and hungry are kind of what we're all about. And this is my second trip around to Techtonica. Prior, I was at Rally Health, and we were a sponsor a while back. And so it's nice to see some familiar faces.
Okay, I think we are ready to get to know our new cohort. What we will do is each our participants, we will have 1 minute to present themselves. So I will call the participants, and we will hear from them their story and why are here in Techtonica, what are interested in tech, and what they are expecting to build now that they will have the knowledge. Let's start with Adora.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adora. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm reporting live from Texas with an academic background in fashion merchandising and e-commerce. So I've actually always been interested in tech, as it's a delicious combination of logic, problem solving, and creativity. But there hasn't always been an emphasis in tech on people that look like me, which is what made me so excited to find Techtonica in the first place, as their emphasis is uplifting underserved demographics. My barrier into tech was mainly due to a lack of confidence and resistance met. So I'm really excited to found Techtonica, and I'm excited to normalize engineers that look like me while merging my three loves being fashion, tech, and beauty. Thank you.
We're so happy to have you. And now, Claribel.
Hello, my name is Claribel Mendez. I go by she, her. I live in Brooklyn, New York, where I was born and raised. My professional and academic background involves being a manager for about 10 years until I completed my master's degree in acupuncture with a bachelor's in science. I'm into tech because I like the problem solving aspect of it, and I really like how it helps me understand the way my mind works and also enjoy how there is a lot of room for creativity within it. And initially, I did not pursue a career in tech due to preconceived notions of what it would take to be one, but I'm glad to see that isn't the case at all. And I know that I would be a great software engineer as I am innovative and adaptable. I can hold several complex ideas at once. And besides being good at logic and problem solving, I'm also well experienced in interpersonal dynamics, which would be great when working on a team. So I'm super excited to continue this journey with Techtonica because I feel I really thrive in a supportive, collaborative environment. And they care a lot not only about our hard skills, but our well-being and personal growth as well. Thank you so much.
Yay, thank you, Claribel. I think I already see you this, but I love your picture. Next, we have Aileen.
Hey, so hi, my name's Eileen. My pronouns are she, her. I grew up on the East Coast and now I'm out east of Seattle. So different coast. I'm a former wildlife biologist. It's been hard for me to get into tech because while my education is STEM related, people tend to hear wildlife science and think bio and animals. But when I was first starting to take that step into tech, I didn't feel like I'd ever break through that barrier because I just didn't have physical proof to show employers that I can do this. And I didn't really see any other girls that looked like me actually doing it. I would make a good software engineer because I love solving puzzles and figuring out how things work. Just because it works doesn't mean it can't be improved or optimized or somehow made to work better. I'm excited about joining Techtonica because I get to learn with an awesome cohort of like-minded people and be given the opportunity to learn and work together. Thank you very much.
Yay, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And now we have Fariba.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I just want to say thank you to an amazing staff and all the Techtonica staff. I'm Fariba. My pronouns are she, her. I live in Los Angeles. I'm a former business owner. And prior to that, I was a full-time pharmacist. You know, I always loved and been fascinated by coding, but it just seemed intimidating to me. So I thought, you know what, it's too late and I should have pursued it back in college. But as it turned out, the pandemic was a blessing in disguise. I closed 2 of my Menchie's frozen yogurts. I had 2 shops back in March 2020, and then I dove right in learning JavaScript, and I've been hooked ever since. I love science, I love math, Sudoku. I just love learning new things. I'm resilient, I'm a hard worker, I will never stop working. I heard about Techtonica from a career coach, and I just fell in love with the people, the culture, and just the humility they have. I'm here to contribute and to this wonderful staff and giving back to the community and ultimately pay it forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay. And now we have Gabriela.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gabriela. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm tuning in from the small town of Dos Palos, California, which is about an hour and a half south of San Francisco. I'm a former college access program coordinator, and I'm interested in tech because it is a very interesting and constantly growing field. It's been hard for me to get into tech because I wasn't really aware of it as an option when I first started my educational career, and later because of familial responsibilities and other limitations. I'm excited about joining Techtonica because it is a unique program that will support me while I learn and transition into this new career field. I believe I'll make a good software engineer because I love to learn and be challenged, and something that I want to contribute to the tech industry is my passion towards creating software that serves others. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Now we will know Lex.
Hello, my name's Lex. I'm a former Target retail employee from San Francisco, California, and my pronouns are they, them. I've been interested in joining the tech industry because it allows anyone to create tools that meet their needs. And the most difficult thing into getting in the tech industry was just finding the time I can invest in growing my skills so that I can nourish like the passion I have for it. I'm excited to join Techtonica because of their goal in helping underrepresented demographics step into tech, but also the approach that they take to ensure every participants are able to achieve it. I believe I'll make a good software engineer because of my enjoyment for fixing and creating things that are useful. Coming from a retail where I witness a lot of income inequalities, I want to be able to bridge that gap for people who have the skills and capability to expand the tech industry.
Thank you so much for that, Lex. Now we will have Lisa.
Hello, my name is Lisa, currently in Seattle, Washington, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a former budget analyst and worked on projects like analyzing COVID-19 expenses for a medical center. While working on different projects, I had ideas on how to improve efficiency and accuracy, which led me to study Python on my own because I knew it could make some tasks easier. Although I have been interested in programming, it was really difficult for me to get into tech because I didn't feel like I had a chance without a relevant work experience or degree. Also, I was afraid of switching careers, but I'm very glad I found Techtonica to help me overcome barriers and work with others to change the face of tech. I believe I would make a great software engineer because I'm passionate about learning and I like to solve problems. I want to contribute creating a safe and inclusive environment in the tech industry and also find ways to encourage others who might be thinking that the tech industry isn't for them when it can be a great place for them. Thank you.
Now we can have Michaela.
Hi, my name is Michaela Perry. My pronouns are she, her, and they, them. I'm from San Francisco and I still live there now. I've studied psychology, art, literature, and design. I've worked in the service industry, childcare, and education. I was the first person in my family to get a degree, and even though I'm from San Francisco, a career in tech never seemed like an option. I went back to school to study design because I was interested in UX and UI, and that exposed me to coding and made me finally realize that tech is an option for me. That's also where I was when I learned about Techtonica. I know I'll be a good engineer because I've always loved math and puzzles, improving efficiency and learning, and I'm not a sports person, but I do love being a team player and helping myself and others to grow. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Michaela. And now we will have Nikisha.
Hi, my name is Nikisha Mims. My pronouns are she and her. I'm from and live in Birmingham, Alabama. I am a former law student and previously worked in the legal, government, and insurance fields. I never got into tech before because I was discouraged by an advisor from changing my major over to a science degree in college. I believe I'll be a great software engineer because of my transferable legal skills and logical reasoning and problem solving. The legal field for me was very rigid, and I'm looking forward to the more innovative aspect of tech. I'm looking forward to learning more complex coding concepts and improving my technical knowledge with Techtonica. I really want to help expand the tech field in my area and bridge the gap to others in my community and region. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, Nikisha, for that. And now we will have Supriya, that is one of our participants of our last cohort, but she couldn't make it to this meeting. She's taking care of her baby. But finally, we will have Sel.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zell, and I live in Dallas, Texas. My early experiences working with code was through social media websites like Zanga, MySpace, and Tumblr as a teen. In school, I took computer classes learning HTML, but as a kid, I didn't know the opportunities that could come from being in tech. So I became a state licensed insurance agent. After 6 years in the industry, I realized my wants and needs within my career were not being met. So I built my own small business online and remembered how fun it was to be creative and to code. I'm currently growing my knowledge and skills within tech with a big focus on e-commerce. My dream is to obtain the skills that I need to build quality online stores and then to teach others. So becoming a software engineer is a big part of that and taking steps necessary towards that goal. And I'm super grateful to Techtonica for allowing me into their cohort this year.
Thank you so much, Sal. And if you feel comfortable, unmute yourself and say welcome to all our amazing core. It is a moment to clap and say welcome to all of them. We are
Welcome.
super happy with the new core. And now we have one of special guests, one of our alumni, Cadence. She will tell us a little about her experience with the core and transitioning to a full-time job. And we want to hear more about from her. Cadence, are you here? I see you.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First, hi, my name is Cadence. Congratulations to all of you. You make it. I was in the first cohort in 2020. I came in with a non-technical background and I had some knowledge of programming. Before joining this program, I followed tutorials to build some simple application with JavaScript, but I didn't think I understand much. This program helped me to understand the top level of building full stack application and help myself find a way to learn programming. So I have been better in programming and be more successful than used to be. To be success in this program or in this career path, rather to solve technical problems, trying to understand the top level and then dive in. If you get stuck, use all the resources like YouTube, online readings, volunteers, if you stuff for a couple hours. And these are my advice for all of you. And I hope you all achieve what you want. Thank you.
Yay, thank you so much, Karen. We're so happy to having you and to have your insights about your experience with the first core of Techtonica. Awesome, awesome to know you. Now we'll do a little mingling and brainstorming session. We will divide the group on breakout rooms, and if Sarah or Michelle can help me with that. Basically, we will have 10 minutes to know each other's and share our names, pronouns, and what things we will have in common. Now that besides Techtonica or being interested and bring underrepresented folks to the tech, what else we can have in common? And at the end of those 10 minutes, we'll come back to the main room and we will share the most surprising things that we have in common. I really like this dynamic and you use it for discovering new different things that we can share. Sarah, wherever you are ready, I think I need to stop my sharing. Yes.
Yep, the break should be ready to go.
Okay, perfect. Not seeing my phone, but I think we are back. Thank you so much for being in the breakout room. So I don't know if any person of the one breakout room want to share something interesting. I can start from my breakout room. We discovered that we are very interested in e-commerce, and a couple of our were the first projects were an e-commerce site to try to show personal items. So that was a nice discovery. Who else want to share something that they find interest that have in common? Tara, you have, and later Sarah.
Well, I was in a breakout room with Gabriella and Eunice, who is Lisa's sister, and we had a great conversation about most everything. Our commonalities would be we're all on the West Coast and we're pretty good at baking.
Wow. I saw in videos of that. I don't know how to bake anything, and I'm so sorry. My stomach is always sorry about that. Sarah, what about you?
I was in a room with Nikisha, Kirsten, and Grace, and we discovered we were all women. We all like tacos. We've lived in multiple locations. We all hate cold weather, and we're all Mac people now. Me recently converted.
Yay! The cold weather will end at some point. That's the thing that is keeping me for February. It will end. It will end. I'm seeing some comments in the chat. Yeah, we have tacos and sunshine is always a favorite. Okay, let's take a minute also for group screenshot. So if you feel comfortable, please turn on your camera and we will take the screenshot on my tree. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Yeah, I have a bunch. Thank you so much. Okay, no, I will go back to share my screen to the presentation. We have a presentation that I need to bring back. There. We did this. Now is the moment that for say thank you to all our sponsors, donors, advocates, mentors, volunteers, friends and family, and especially for our new cohort. We know that the level of information and compromise that we are throwing to you in those first 2 weeks is way too much, but we are completely sure that you will make it and you will be an amazing software engineer. So thank you for believing in us too. Thank you all for being here. And if you want to get involved, please remember that there is 4 items and you can be involved. You can talk to your company to become a sponsor. You can spread the word about Techtonica with your family and social group. You can donate to our cause and you can volunteer. We have a lot of opportunities to volunteer. And now that I'm seeing the last cohort here, remember that you can volunteer with us to mock up interviews and things like that. I think it's a great moment to remind all of you. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for celebrate with us this amazing new cohort. And if you want to share the celebration of today, this is our hashtag and those are our social media. Thank you so much for being here. And I don't know, Michelle, if you have something else to say to our group.
Yay! That's all.
Yeah, thank you so much to all of you, especially donors and volunteers and sponsors. And yeah, it's amazing to see all your faces.
I think some of us might stay around and chitty chat, but you're welcome to head off. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you. Nice